we could make a bit of a statement where like we have our connects, we have that Janae song, but like it would be nice to have like 3 joints in that vein of like, oh god, like Drake, that wasn't just a fluke, you know what I mean? I want to like establish some. So if there could be like a,
what up YouTube, it's your boy Gio Italiano 92. I just want to talk real quick about the whole Drake reference track situation. Basically, I was one of those hanger-ons, I guess, I'm saying it right. Drake fans is like, all right, well, I felt he broke those timestamp records, the records that are lyrical, but I'll be honest with you, once I saw the credits for Take Care and it says A. Paulman, come to find out that's his boy named Hush, who used to rap as well with him early on, in Toronto, one of the early collaborators of his, and I'm not surprised. It's more of like a damn, like that's it. Game over, man. Like, can he still make music? Yeah. Will someone listen still? Yeah. Will hip hop ever respect him? No, that's gone. And moving forward, anyone who claims that they respect him and no, I still think he wrote. I mean, come on, 5 a.m. in Toronto, like, nah, you can't have somebody like bar for bar saying what you're saying to us, and you repackaging it, polishing it up, and trying to present it to us like, yeah, nah, I wrote that. Say A gram on the record, and it might have somebody else's name on there. He may think, oh, it's just a collaborator, might miss a homie in the studio, somebody they know. Maybe you should say this, maybe you should say that. No, but like bar for bar, no, that ain't it. The people I grew up on, Jay-Z, Nas, T.I., LL Cool J, like just like real spitters, people that their pen holds a lot of weight. You know what it is, especially Nas. Like that's my dude. That's my favorite lyricist, if I'm being honest. So I feel like at this point, anyone who doesn't believe that it could be true, all of this is alleged, but reference tracks have surfaced in the past and those are not alleged. So at this point, do what you will with that information. I was a big fan of the dude for damn near half my life. Like, I'm just being honest. I became a fan around 18, 32. So you do the math. And, like I stated in my previous videos, his actions have been bothering me. But, the music is powerful. Words are powerful. And music that you enjoy can like latch hold of you and keep you tuned in to somebody that you just shouldn't support anymore. And that I can admit that, I'm human, not perfect, and I understand that celebrities aren't perfect as well, but I mean, come on, there's a long receipt list of the foul shit he's done. The recent DMs, how he left Quentin Miller hanging, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Nicholas F. from Virginia. On his early, American collaborators, MC, he battle rapped as well on BT, did his thing, and this dude only did one song with him his entire mainstream career, one song. And I don't count I'm Going In, which Nicholas F. wrote a few bars of that as well, and that was admitted back in 2009, but it's neither here nor there. So hey, biggest fraud in hip-hop, period. And I've always been a Kendrick fan as well, but I've admitted and said that I was a bigger Drake fan, and maybe it was, I feel like it was just maybe a difference in voice and delivery, and Drake was more versatile and more, did songs that were more, higher energy here and there. He put out more music. His volume was bigger. The output of music he put out. But just keeping it real, I always knew who the better lyricist is for, when it comes to substance, and they give you something to think about, something to, look up to, and like he did on Mr. Morale, he talked about his faults and things that he did to show, hey, like the song said, I'm not your savior. J. Cole's not your savior. Future's not your savior, and so on and so on. You can name names for days. So that's all I got to say about that. If you feel what I'm saying, like, comment, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.